Have you ever had one of those days where everything you do just goes wrong, and no matter how hard you try or how good your intentions, life just keeps beating you down? Huh?
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Yeah.
I know you've been there.
Yeah. No.
It's Friday Eve. It's Thursday, baby. Right? Now we're back.
Everyone's we're back.
Excited.
Here we are. Yeah. Everyone's back. So yeah, we're back. We haven't done that in a long time. And
we're back.
So this is part 2 of our scene by scene breakdown of the 2014 movie, Walk of Shame.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, The Walking Dead. Walking Dead Shame. Yep. The Walking Dead of Shame. With Elizabeth Banks, some other people, James Marsden, Kevin Nealon.
Famous star of the movie, Kevin Nealon.
Yeah, Kevin Nealon. And where we last left, we were Elizabeth Banks' character was walking the streets, a little banged up, met a drug dealer on the run from the law, right? Aren't we all? And she runs into a drug dealer, and they try to escape the cops together. And we weren't sure where they're going to end up, but we actually do know. So, and we're about to tell you.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah. So let's get to it. Right back into it. Yeah. So she runs after him, and they end up, just call it what they say it is, right?
I said a hangout spot, but
or crack house.
tomato, I suppose.
Hangout spot's probably, that's a hangout spot. Sure. We'll call it the hangout spot.
I mean, it is a crack house, I guess. Yeah. Call a spade a spade.
Right? You make sausages, it's a sausage house, right? I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
HAUS. That's
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
My bad.
So yeah, then this is kind of a mix of an extended version of the scene from the trailer, right? The opening scene of the trailer, actually, right? Where she meets right?
Exactly. And they're like arguing, is she a sex worker? Is she a cop? And then until Pookie recognizes her as the bitch from the news.
The bitch from the news. And Pookie is definitely, I think, pretty funny in this, but
I think the best character in the movie, probably.
Yeah, but I love that he just keeps calling her the bitch from the news.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then he goes into so they're kind of going back and forth, what are you gonna do with her, right? And then she's like, I'm not a cop. And then I like how he just goes into giving her tips about how she should be more open on here. And they get into kind of breaking down her,
the notes are good. She needs to work on her delivery, more warmth.
Yeah,
you can tell he's a fan.
Yeah, and they all kind of chime in about it. And it's kind of funny. So this is happening. She's getting some good feedback, right? And then Scrilla.
We get introduced.
Yeah. So it's Pookie, Scrilla,
yeah.
Scrilla.
Scrilla,
yeah.
And Hulk.
And Hulk, yeah.
Who's the big dude?
Makes sense.
The aptly named, not tiny.
Yeah, not tiny. And then she just needs a phone to make a phone call, right? This part was kind of funny because it's very real. So she gets the phone, right? And she's sitting there, and Scrilla comes over, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know any phone numbers.
I know three numbers: mine, my parents, and my ex."
Yeah.
You're like, well,
and I love Hulk is just like, that's some modern day and fucked up shit.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's true. I know Thais's number and a bunch of my old buddies from high school.
Yeah.
And my parents, obviously, but other than that, I don't know your number. I couldn't get in touch with you if I had the situation.
No, I think I don't know anyone's number. There's some good lines in here though. She's like, I'm stuck in a ghetto crack house, and Pookie's like, that's a fair description. And then there's then Skrilla's like, hey, how do you know that she's on news or whatever? And he's like, oh, I have a TV. And he's like, you have a TV? And he's like, yeah, in the back. And he's like, you need to sell that shit because you owe me money. This is kind of funny. Yeah. So we get more of that back and forth, and then she's not going to call her parents, so she calls her ex, right? Kyle. Who
is this guy? Because I forgot to look him up. I meant to look him up beforehand because I recognized him and I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's in stuff.
Oliver Hudson.
Yeah, he's in.
Kind of looks like in this photo of him, he looks like Bradley Cooper.
He does, but like a poor man's Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I know him from TV. He's in a TV show that I watched.
Three of Us, Cleaning Lady.
Rules of Engagement. That's what I'm thinking of him from. Underrated show.
Wow,
Pretty
look at that. In 2013, he was in Grown Ups 2. He played a Kyle. In 2014, he was in Walk of Shame, played Kyle. Wow,
What range?
Black Christmas in 2006, he played another Kyle. I think this guy's typecast is just Kyle, right?
It's just Kyle.
Man, you play a good Kyle.
His character in Rules of Engagement is also not named Kyle, but like he's got big Kyle energy.
Yeah, big Kyle energy.
Yeah. Wicked funny though. That's the one that it's got David Spade and the other guy.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, very good. Watch that show. Doing plugs for shows.
So she finally she calls Kyle and is trying to explain what's going on. She's on the phone, right? And she's like, she's like, where are we? Like the hood, which is kind of funny. When I think Pookie also says like we're like more like hood adjacent. And then they cut back to the three guys and like Pookie's singing the hilarious 1-800-EMPIRE song.
Which great free advertising for Empire today, like we're doing now.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like a rival gang or like guys just kick open a door and they just start like firing, right? And it's kind of a scramble, right?
Because Kyle and Meghan don't get anything accomplished. They just kind of argue with each other, even though this is supposed to be an important phone call and quick.
Right.
And then right before the rival gang breaks in, basically the crew here, Scrilla and
Hulk, that's right.
Like comes over and threatens Kyle. He's like,
it's kind of funny.
If you don't come pick her up, like I'm gonna come kill you. And he's like, wait, what? And so that's when the rival gang breaks in, starts a shootout. Skrilla's like, you got to get out of here. Pookie follows her out like a smart guy that he is. That it was Pookie from the trailer. We were like, oh, who's that guy falling on top of her from crawling out the sewer pipe or whatever?
Yeah.
It was Pookie.
It's Pookie. So it all makes sense now, right?
I feel like every time like something from the trailer happens, like, oh yeah, you could have probably scrapped half of the last scene and just done that. And, like the trailer told the whole movie.
I definitely did. So we cut to the cops at the police station here, right? And they're getting a call about how there's shots fired and there's a lady in a yellow dress.
Yep.
Bill Burr and our boy Ethan Suplee are on the job, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, they're like Bill Burr's like, oh, what a coincidence! Like we definitely don't need to do anything about this, which I appreciate. That's the kind of cop we need.
Yeah.
And then the other cops are like, no, you have to go. Vic is the guy who we'll meet a little bit later, formally, but he's like the desk guy, and he's like, no, you got to go talk to the sergeant. He's the like, this is a big problem.
Yeah. Then we cut back to the streets, and we got Pookie and Meghan. They're kind of walking streets, and she's like, hey, do you know where the tow yard, whatever? And he gives her directions, so now she knows where she needs to go, right?
Yep. Finally.
And then he also gives her his crack, which is
weird. It's too much. I don't know. It's Steve Brill. It's Steve Brill writing horrible.
Yeah, movie. I guess it kind of just the layers on the whole situation for her, right? So.
Yep, exactly. So Pookie asked for his one condition. He's like, I've helped you a bunch. You got to do me a little favor. Next time you're on the news, give me a shout out. Yeah, shout out the boys.
And then
that's all he wants. Yep. And then I like his night. He's got a good be well.
Yeah,
when that is a good sign off.
Isn't that's her sign off, right?
No, I think it becomes her sign off. I think it's Pookie's sign off, and she uses it later. It's like because she learned she's learned about
something
life
right outside of news.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, I think at the beginning. Yeah, I don't know if she had like a I think it was just like smell you later.
See ya.
Maybe
go fuck yourself. San Diego.
This movie's not that smart.
No. All right, so we're back at the police station, right? And we got our two other heroes here getting it from the lieutenant, right?
The sergeant. Yeah, we meet the sergeant and he is pissed. Not so they should have brought her in. He's like, there's a crime wave happening, a one-woman crime wave that you guys are not solving.
Yeah.
And then he's basically just like, no, your shift doesn't end until she's brought to justice.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr's like, God damn it. So they will start walking out of the building to go chase her down. We get a nice protect and serve from Vic and roundly replied, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
which I enjoyed.
And then we're back at the Marsden here, right? And he calls Hulk's phone. Did she text him?
Yes. No, she texted herself and her phone is
that's right. Place. That's right. That's what it was. Okay. So from her phone, he calls that last number, which is Hulk's phone. And then he's like, she's gone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. So then we get back to Meghan walking down the street alone. Another little montage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like wasted time in this movie of her just walking around to music.
Yeah. And then she runs into a store owner on the side of the street, and she's like, "Yeah, can I use your phone or whatever? Can I get $5 or something like that?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are. I'll take a photo and put it up on the wall and put it on Facebook and blah blah blah." And then
she's like, "Don't do that."
And we get the classic. He says the name of the movie.
Yeah. Look, it's Meghan Miles on a walk of shame.
Well, yeah. Okay.
They said it.
And this is, by the way, the halfway point of the movie.
Yep.
So
that makes sense.
We're halfway through, right?
Thank God.
Yeah.
And she goes and steals some sunglasses from a penguin statue as a disguise.
Yeah, I totally missed that. So I was like, when like the next scene was like, where did she get the sunglasses from?
Yeah, pretty stupid. She finds there's like a penguin statue.
Oh, that's right.
Sidewalk that's wearing sunglasses, and she just takes them. You know, like this isn't a disguise either. Like, what do you?
Yeah, you still kind of stand out in the yellow dress.
So frustrating.
Meghan Miles. All right, so then we're back at the Marsden, right? And he gets.
Yep. Gordon gets.
Well, Rose calls her phone, right? Calls Meghan's phone. He answers, right? And then we get the team kind of rounding up to go kind of help her, but
he explains the situation. The friend is like, Rose is like, "You're a psycho, clearly," and he's like, "No, I'm just a regular guy. Here's my address. Come to my house." And then that's finally when Rose calls Denise that I was alluding to earlier, and she's like, "Denise, let's go." And Denise is dead, as they all should be.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and this was going to be part of the trivia, but I left it out because it was pretty dumb. But 244 Traction is not in a real address. So.
Oh yeah, that's not good trivia.
Yeah, that's why I left it out. I was like, this is dumb.
So smart.
So and then we get a quick line. The back at Rose's house, right? The old creepy guy is still there, right? Yep. He's like going behind her, touching her, kissing her, whatever, like trying to be like, "Oh, next day stuff." And she has a line about taking
Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop. It's like, oh, kind of, yeah, okay.
It's like, he doesn't look like Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop's cool.
Yeah. And then we're back in the streets. Meghan's just kind of walking around, right? And then she approaches another drug dealer and tries to sell the crack she got from Pookie for $10.
Yep.
And then there's a big like conversation about hamburgers and how
it's logical.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's it is, but it
doesn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of just glossing over. It's like conversation about hamburgers. And then she mentions Scrilla as right. And this guy freaks out like, "Oh, you're trying to sell his stuff like in my neighborhood, blah, blah, blah," right?
Figueroa territory out here.
And he kind of chases her. He whistles to someone off to the side to, come and get it. And he has an offline about, what's the point of whistling if I'm not a bird or something? I don't know. So
something like that. Yeah.
So she hops on a bus and $1.50. Yeah, she has no money. And then we got an old lady shaming her now, right?
Yep. Exactly. Assuming she's a sex worker again, just like everyone else in this movie does.
Yep. That joke's continuing on. So we get the old lady.
Bus driver's still like, "I still need money." So she's stalling, and she's like, "Well, do you take credit cards?" And they're like, "Yeah, swipe it right there." And she's like, "Well, do you take debit cards?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Do you have a debit card?" Seems like you don't. And then the bus driver gives her a big lecture about how she shouldn't be a sex worker because she's not good at it if she doesn't have $1.50. Obviously. Yeah. So then it finally kicks her off because she deserves to get kicked off the bus for not paying the fare. Yeah. And then calls her a crack whore.
And then sprays in her face with pepper spray.
And at this point, she has lost the crack.
Yes, she threw it on the ground on the bus. She's like, "That's it. Just doesn't even mind," right?
Yeah, So she gets pepper sprayed, falls off the bus. Everyone claps because it's that kind of movie. And then we cut back to our police friends, right? They're going to do some interviews with the gangs at the crime scene here, where the shooting was earlier. Very serious crime movie now.
Yeah.
And this is when we get over the radio, "Woman in a yellow dress ejected from a bus."
Ejected from the bus.
They're like, "Interesting." They're like, "Well, we got to go check it out. We got to bring her in." Then we go back to the newsroom. So like, this is, I think, starting in the second half of this movie, it is pretty dead on that it starts to jump a lot faster.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah. A lot more bouncing between all of our characters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So listeners, things are starting to, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is how it goes. I noticed that too. And I was like having not a hard time. But it was like, okay. And we're next scene. It was like, one short little lines that can start pulling all the threads together, right?
Yep. It's about to be chaos.
Yeah. So then we get the cut to news station where we get the scene from the trailer again.
Yep.
Dan, producer, being like, where's Megan Miles? And we get a little back and forth between him and this other character. I guess it was supposed to be funny, but I didn't laugh.
No, it
wasn't. It's a little extended scene, and she's like, where would she be if you were Megan Miles? And of course we get the cut to her drinking water from like a spigot, like a hose, a hose hookup, whatever.
Yep. On the side of some house or apartment building or whatever.
Yeah. And then then
she hears singing from the synagogue.
Yeah. And it's just so weird.
And I was like, why is she going to go bother these people now? She's just causing chaos everywhere she goes.
Chaos walking everywhere. So she goes over to the synagogue and finds, he's not a rabbi, right?
I don't know.
She calls him that, and he's like,
she does call him that. I thought he might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was at first, but so he's talking to this fella who's not a rabbi, but whatever, and he's basically just like, you're a temptress, and tries to
Yeah, he's like, you can't we're not allowed to be. I think they seem like Hasidic of Jewish of the Hasidic variety, and so pretty orthodox, and they separate the men and the women and stuff like that. She's like, you can't be around here. She's like, I need to use the bathroom or make a phone call or give me $1.50 for the bus.
Wow.
And he's like, no, like explaining how the way it is, and then all of a sudden he kind of caves, and he's like, well, I do love the female voice. And I'm like, no. Why is everyone in this movie skeevy?
Yeah.
And so he says he'll give her $1.50 if she sings him a little tune. And so she starts to sing Call Me Maybe, apparently.
Classic hit, right?
Yep, classic hit.
Maybe this movie is really smart, and it's just kind of talking about all the how terrible people are and their judgment of other people, right? I'm trying to find some good out of it.
Okay, gotcha.
They're calling out the bad behavior of everyone, right?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And being
that's
right. Don't be so quick to judge. Yeah, don't be so quick to judge.
All of us in society. That's right, except sex workers, who we hate in this movie. Apparently,
they're people too. All right, so she sings. Then the rest of the rabbi gang comes out, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing out here?" Blah blah blah. And
they call her a witch because she is.
Yeah.
And then she hate crimes them.
Then we cut back to the police station, and we got a call in for a hate crime. This is so terrible. Okay, so
I hate it.
it does hit a lull. Like, you're right. You said, because you're just like, it was boring. Like, it definitely hit a lull at this point where it's just like, fucking move on.
And there's so many quick cuts. That's what it moves very quickly. The pacing is rampaging. And then it's so boring.
Yeah. It's like, how can something that's rampaging be boring? Usually rampages are
Yes,
like
interesting.
the old video game Rampage, right? That's
super fun,
right? Classic.
I want to play Rampage.
Yeah, right. So do I.
Smashing buildings.
Yeah, you could team up and get the two different things smashing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe that's a movie we should do. Maybe is that under 30%? The Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, I forgot that there's. Yeah, I didn't see it. So I bet.
Nice.
It can't be that good.
No way. Right.
2018, right?
Yeah, 2018.
Oh no, 51%.
Is it really? Come on.
This is a nightmare.
Come on.
That's like the same as like good movies.
Is it like actually a good movie?
No, it can't be.
There's no way. 72% audience score? Come on. Those are rock fans. That's all that is.
Yeah, it must be, right? Or video game fans.
Oh my god.
Interesting.
All right, so we're back at the Marsden. And then Rose and Denise, friends show up, right? And then we get like they're kind of they just kind of barge into his place too, which is also kind of weird, right? It's like,
yeah, they're like, you're a weirdo. You have a cat?
Yeah,
He's
what
like,
are you, a hipster? And he's
what?
like, I can't grow a beard for that.
It's very frustrating.
And then we get the 4-point douche test, right?
Yeah.
Where Denise has got her 4 points of questions here, right?
Well, because he reveals he's the bartender. And so they're like,
Right.
oh, you scuzz. Like, you get him drunk and then you take advantage and
You bring him back. Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm cool. And they're like, how do you feel about Robert Pattinson? And he's like, not my favorite.
Not my favorite. Yeah.
And that's the douche test. Basically, then they're like, would you rather kill a dog or cheat on your girlfriend? And he's like, cheat on my girlfriend. And they're like,
I'm not a monster.
Pass.
Yeah. And I love randomly Denise at the end. She's like, can I get a hot chocolate? It's like, what? No.
Yeah, the movie is frustrating.
All right, so we're back at a news station. We get the network crew, right? They show up. They're looking for Meghan. They're like, where is she, right?
Yeah,
Where is she?
Stalling, doing his best.
And yeah, Dan's like, if we know Meghan, she's in the streets getting a story, you know?
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. Little do they know. Back to the streets. We got Meghan walking past like it was actually a library or a school or something, right? And she's looking to use a payphone, or she uses a payphone, right? And she calls her station's tip line. Yeah. And the guy on the other line is just not having it. And I feel like this could have been funnier, but it wasn't at all.
No
help. So she goes to the library. She spots a rack of bikes. She spots one that's not locked up, which, kid, get a lock for your bike. Come on, man. Like,
yeah, it's definitely his fault.
You deserve your bike to be stolen. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you live in LA. Come on. It's not like
sorry, this movie's rubbing off. This movie's rubbing off on me just to blame it.
Yeah, blaming the victims. I know. I get it. I'm there. I'm right there with you. Although, I mean, this kid stinks, so I'm fine with blaming
He does stink, right? So again, I think this is maybe it's commentary about how terrible people are. So she's stealing the bike.
Women.
Right, and she's stealing the bike, and the kid shows up. All stuff from the trailer, except a little extended. He's like, "Sure, you can have my bike. Show me your boobs." And she's like, "Oh yeah, come closer." And this, and she pushes him over and takes off on the bike.
Yeah,
I don't know. Any more in there?
Wait. Oh my god. Wait.
We missed
skip a part.
Yeah, we did.
The part with Gordon, and they do the explaining with the car, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a car. And she's like, how did you get to anywhere? He's like, she took her car. And they're like, oh, she's got that key detective thing. And there's no subway in Los Angeles, you liar. And he's like, no, there is.
Yeah. I missed this part. I missed this part. Sorry, I missed this part too, because like the key detective thing was important for later on. I was like, wait,
yes.
What the hell? What are they tracking? Like, what is this?
It's important, but it's also my least favorite scene in the movie. Like they do so many jokes that don't work. Like it's just very awkward and not funny. Yeah. I hate this scene because and then she's like, oh no, the key detective. She's a little key detective jingle. Yeah. Yeah. Denise does. And then she gets a text. This is when she gets a text on Meghan's phone. And it's from Dan. And he's like, oh, bad day to not show up to work, you dumb.
This is where things start speeding up really quickly. Yeah. And then she steals the bike, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. We could skip going over that again because
yeah, fuck it. And then this is when we get back with our cop friends.
They get a call about a woman stealing a bike, right?
Yep. Female in yellow dress, stealing a bike.
Yeah.
And then Ethan Suplee is like, it's like she wants to get caught. I don't know. He's got a few funny lines.
Yeah, this is so quick too. Yeah, and it cuts back to her. She's biking now.
Well, it cuts back to Chopper Steve real quick, and he's like, "May God have mercy on you today if you're on the freeway, because it's carpocalypse out there."
Yeah, and that's right. They cut back and forth between all four of these so quickly. Yeah. That's right. They do Chopper Steve thing. And then she's biking.
And we get back to Gordon briefly, and he's like, "We got to get in the car and call a detective."
Yeah. Right.
And so they ask for the password, and he's like, "Oh, it's her pet's name," and he knows the pet's name.
They have a back and forth, like, "Oh yeah, we got real deep last night," and then friends make sex jokes, which
it's
D2, Mighty Ducks,
very Mighty Ducks-esque. Some would say.
Then we're back with the cops, right?
And they're interviewing the kid. Who's a jerk. The kid is a super jerk.
Super jerk. He definitely deserves his bike getting stolen, right? And he's just like, when we find her, I want 5 minutes alone with her. And I love Bill Burr's like, no, creepy kid. What is this, the fucking Goonies?
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That's maybe the best line in the movie. So then Gordon's still on the phone with Key Detective in the car. They're trying to chase down this moving target. Key Detective says that the keys are moving. Yeah. And so they're like, okay. Then they come back to the cops, and the kid is being a little shit. And he's like, driver, you got to find my bike.
Yeah.
He's like, and like they have a whole back. He's like, I'm not a driver. I'm a police officer. And like, he's like, my dad's taxes pay your salary. You have to do what I say.
You one of those
and
rich kids?
Yeah. He's like, I just want to be fucking fishing, which was almost the quote for the movie.
And then we cut back to Chopper Steve, and he's going on about how he works in the porn industry or something, right? And he was a boom
I used
operator.
to work the boom. He didn't stop me from getting gonorrhea though. Like, what?
All right.
Okay, it's that kind of movie.
Such Kevin Nealon humor there. And we're back on the streets with the cops, right? And they're driving around, having back and forth about like smoking weed or whatever. But yeah,
well, the kid's like, e-cigarettes are dumb because Ethan Suplee's character is smoking an e-cigarette, which like 2014, way ahead of the time there.
Yeah, right.
If only they could zoom forward a few years and realize that's the future.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, e-cigarettes, lame. Like, I smoke weed. And then they're like, well, now we got to arrest you. And he's like, just kidding. Oh, okay. Because again, it's 2014, although it's California where there are no rules anyway. So
they spot Meghan.
And she ducks into a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Spa place.
Yeah.
So the guys are like looking around, trying to find her. Yep. She puts on massage clothes. And goes and pretends to be a massage therapist. Yeah.
Masseuse. Yeah.
I think massage therapist is the preferred term.
Oh, is it? Okay. Massage therapist. Okay.
Masseuse implies what this is, what this scene is.
This is what, so
that's right.
Not wrong.
Sex work.
But yes.
Yep. God damn it.
Yeah. Sorry, we're there.
Yeah. It's that kind of movie.
So she goes in a room and there's a guy on the
table.
Immediately I was like, oh, this is the cab driver from the beginning of the movie, right?
I kind of got that vibe. I was like,
immediately. Yeah.
And then the cops arrive into the spa and they meet up with the boss of the spa who's like, I already paid off the cops. And Walter's like, what? Or not Walter. Walter's Bill Burr. Ethan Suplee's character's like, what? And Bill Burr's like, nice.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So then we cut back to her. She's not wanting to give this guy a massage, and whatever. She dumps a bunch of oil, a bunch of hijinks is about to happen, right? And she's trying to obviously stay hidden from the cops. They're kind of poking around, and then
turns out, "Go fuck yourself, Vic" is the guy at the station. And Bill Burr's like, nice,
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty great.
And then we find out that the cab driver is the guy who's on the table, and because he starts talking about the woman in the yellow dress who just ruined his day, blah blah, and then
that he wants to murder.
Yes, but you can't do that here in this country. Which
what?
2014. Come on.
Yeah.
And then she does she climbs on top of him and she's holding a bar and he's slippery. Is the thing. It's all stupid hijink stuff. And then she slips off and falls. He spots her, goes chase after. She runs out of there. The cops spot her, right? And then they come in and
the cops team up with the cab driver. He's like, she assaulted me and stole money from me. And they're like, oh man, more crimes. And that's when outside Gordon and the ladies show up. Rose and Denise and the team Elizabeth Banks has now arrived finally.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on? Why are the cops here?
Yeah.
And there's 20 minutes left in the movie still somehow.
I love how you have a countdown. I've noticed every like few scenes here, you're like 30 minutes to go.
Yes. That's what I was saying at the beginning. Like, this movie's so boring. I was like, okay, we're almost done.
Yeah. It is pretty boring.
She's back on the run, like the whole rest of the movie.
And then she's on I-10, right? She finds I-10 at least. And then we literally we cut to the newsroom and this is when we get the countdown, right? We actually get a giant clock counting down.
Yep.
Time is running out. The bomb is going to go off.
Time is running out. And Carpocalypse has thankfully made the road empty, so she'll be able to cross. Like, she's stoked because she arrives at the freeway. It's totally empty. She can do whatever, except there's an old lady who shows up out of nowhere. And she's like, you got to cross down the street under the bridge.
Yeah. She's basically like a troll lady in a way, right?
Yeah.
Pay the fare.
Pay the troll toll. And she's like, okay, it's her shoes. Of course it's her shoes. The last thing that she had.
The shoes she stole from the massage, the spa, I should say.
Yeah. exactly. And then we cut back to Chopper Steve real quick. He's like, "Oh, it's about to be the reopening of the freeway." Oh, good. I'm glad that we're narrating now the things that are happening.
On screen.
For fuck's sake.
So then they got her on camera, and now everyone at the news station is following this crazy lady's story, basically, right?
Who's that woman in the yellow dress?
Yeah. And yeah, this is then the scene from the trailer, right, of her running across the highway. She gets across the first portion,
Yep.
all the cars open up, and then it's Frogger at this point, and then she makes a dash across the other half, and she spots the tow yard. You mentioned that, right? She spotted the tow yard across from the fence. Yeah. So
sorry, yeah, she spots the tow yard, and she's got the goal finally. The cops have their guns trained on her as she starts crossing the street. Mad dash. Everyone's excited that she made it. She does make it across the traffic, like the trailer.
Yeah.
Everyone claps basically. Like Chopper Steve's like, nice.
It was like a rooting for her kind of moment type of thing that you just it's
dumb.
Yeah.
Bill Burr said she's a psycho, and then she gets to the tow yard finally.
Yeah, and then we get Tig Notaro, which I like her. She's funny.
Yeah.
And there's like the extension of that scene from the trailer, but it's kind of them just going back and forth. Feel like it was a little improvised, like kind of them just kind of riffing off each other a little bit. But
yeah, it was
okay.
Not as funny as I expected.
I was hoping it was gonna be much funnier, but it was like, I was like, I love the mullet. Nice mullet there, Tig.
Yeah. And I liked
Quiznos?
No, I like she's like unlocking the car with the remote, and Tig's like, I'm not falling for that trap. Like, you're lying. That was pretty good. And then the Quiznos bit was kind of funny too.
Yeah.
But also like,
what do you want?
$500.
Yeah, I'll give you money. It's like, I do want Quiznos for lunch today. When was the last time you went to a Quiznos? Are those things even exist? Do they still exist?
I don't think so. I feel like Quiznos might have gone out of business.
Yeah.
But I don't know, probably high school. Maybe someone was at a Quiznos. Right?
Yeah. I was going to say college. Well, yeah, that tracks, right? So.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Toasted. That was their big thing, right?
Yeah,
Toasted.
right? And you watch it go on the little conveyor belt thing and it toasting the thing, right?
Yeah, and the gross little Quiznos gremlin.
Yeah.
From like the commercials.
Kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Huh. Right.
Well, shout out to Quiznos.
Yeah. Sandwiches.
Still in business.
Good for you.
Yeah, you can sponsor the podcast. I'll eat a sandwich.
Okay, so then she sneaks into the tow yard, right?
Yep.
From the trailer, the very last scene of the trailer. Remember, we were like, this is such a weird thing of her standing outside some fence or something like that, right? It's actually her dancing outside when she comes across and gets to the tow yard. It was like a weird, why would they put that in the trailer? Anyways.
Yep. It doesn't make any sense.
So she sneaks into the tow yard. She finds her car, right? And then she's like, cool, purse. Oh, looks in the back. There's glass. Windows broken into. Purse was stolen. All of her stuff is taken. And she's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm having my moment, right? And she puts the key in and she goes to escape. And Tig is inside being like,
Mm-hmm.
Punctures the tires, right? With whatever those things are called. The reverse. I hate driving over those things.
The spikes there.
Yeah,
have you done that?
No. I mean, I'm saying.
I was going to say.
I mean, regularly. Right. I don't like driving over like, normal way.
Because they make you nervous that the spikes will pop out.
Yeah. Yes. Right. But they know they're not. Like it's.
Well, they might.
Damn it. Why would you do that to me?
Well, because you gave me this fast fact earlier about the stupid speedometer. That's
fair. Okay. So, I see what you did there.
Vengeance is mine.
Vengeance is my name.
I am vengeance.
So she like tires are flat, right? And she's still aiming for the door. The gate's closing, and she gets stuck like halfway in and out. Doors close on it. Airbags go off. It's just
for some reason.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't think that kind of impact would make the front airbags go off.
No, I don't think so either. But hey, whatever, right?
Yeah. Who am I to pick on that in this movie?
Mighty Ducks.
That's where I draw the line, you guys.
So she's stuck, and that's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of the movie.
But, who appears? Our hero, Gordon.
Hero. Yeah, Gordon Bombay. There you go. Gordon Bombay's son. Yeah, Gordon shows up, right?
Yeah.
And he shows up, sunroof, and he saves the day yet again. Yeah. And the friends pull up.
We didn't do our research. Sunroof versus moonroof.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out for another episode.
Yeah. Oh, we told the listeners, I think, to tell us. So
yeah, right. It's
listeners, that offer still stands.
Yeah. Your homework. So then they save the day and they hop in the friend's car and they're like, how'd you find me? And they're like, yeah, Christmas Miracle. And they're like, yeah, we got the key detective. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm glad you paid for that. So stupid.
Except they get stuck in Carpocalypse.
Bum, bum, bum. She calls the station. She's like, I'm on my way there. But then she gets stuck, and she's like, I got another idea. She basically gets Chopper Steve, right? She has an idea.
Well, meanwhile, she's like, the cops are like, suspect has been seen entering an SUV. And she's like, okay.
Still in a trail, right?
Yeah, they're still not giving up on her because she has done crimes today.
Yeah. Yes, she has. Yeah, they connect her with Chopper Steve, and
on the phone, Dan calls in, and then they show up, and the helicopter's there and parked in the field.
Yeah,
they like to drive it to the field, and they're just like, oh, how convenient.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about car apocalypse. We can just drive to a field, and that works out. So
they Gordon and Meghan get in the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quick to the station. And that's when he's like, have you guys seen that girl in the yellow dress doing crazy shit?
Yeah.
And they're like, she's like, yeah, no idea about that. That's weird, right? Yeah. And then the cops pull up.
Let's cut some sky, right?
Cops pull up, helicopter flies away. Bill Burr's like, wait, the woman that we've been chasing all day is just a reporter? And Ethan Suplee is like, oh my God, are you saying the criminal organization has infiltrated the news media? And I appreciate that Bill Burr's like, oh, you got a stupid friend too, huh?
you got an idiot friend too?
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God. So then we're back at the news station, right? Hair and makeup, they do magic in less than 2 seconds, right? Get her all cleaned up and ready to go.
It's a miracle.
And then she gets up and she does the news, right?
Yep. And then she starts telling the story about herself.
She was labeled as
woman in the yellow dress.
The hooker hoodlum. Is what she
hooker
was,
hoodlum, right?
That was the news story of the day, right?
Gross. Yep.
And then she kind of recaps her night a bit, and then she says, screw this, and does her big speech, right?
Yeah. Well, the possible hate crimes seem like news to her. She didn't seem like she was aware that she did that earlier. And
right. Yes.
She's a bad person. Like, she's done actual bad things today.
Yeah.
So then she comes clean. I'm the hooker hoodlum. She talks about, the big speech. She explicitly says again that she's not a hooker, and she had to endure this a long, weird walk of shame. And then she says, but I'm not ashamed. And saying that it was a walk of shame is wrong. And I don't care what people think anymore.
Yeah. People shouldn't judge.
Shame on you for judging me. And then
I think it's got a bigger, thing to say.
You're right. This movie has
I think it's smarter than we all think.
Smarter than the average bear.
Yeah, maybe not.
So they say, Meghan, have you lost your mind? I think is what Dan says to her. She's like walking away from the set.
Yeah.
Gordon's there to witness all this to you, and he's like, nice, right on.
Yeah, we're doing this.
She's like, I was trying to convince these execs that I'm safe and perfect, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Also, I'm glad I never have to see my ex again, which why even bring Kyle into this?
Yeah, and then they do a quick cut to him, and he's on the couch with his new woman there, and the cops bust in and like, we tracked your phone because you called a drug dealer.
Ruthless.
Kyle gets it in the end.
Yeah.
And we cut to the friend's house, right? And
old dude is still there.
And Bill Burr and Ethan Suplee show up to arrest him.
Yeah. Before that, that's when Denise and Rose and the creepy guy are like, let's do shots.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's too early for shots because it's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
And that's when it cuts back to Meghan, and she shouts out. She finally does the shout out for Hulk and Scrilla and Pookie, which the guys are stoked about.
Yep.
She signs off.
Cut to them.
Well, just be yourself, whatever it is.
Yep.
Other anchor signs off for real.
Chuck Rogers.
And then that's when outside she walks out of the room, and
basically thinks she's fired and she's done, right?
But the studio execs are actually like, oh, actually, that was incredible.
We want to sign you up for a reality TV show, right?
Yeah. An investigative series, The Girl in the Yellow Dress.
I smell sequel.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, I don't know. I've got to think about it. And then that's when it cuts back to the friend, and the cops show up and arrest the creepy old guy finally.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, wait, are you arresting me for being too sexy? And we're like,
no.
What? What is this movie? Like, why are you like this?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was funny. Yeah, they walked in like, sir, put down your cookies. It's time to go.
But there's so like this movie. I mean, this movie is already short. It's an hour and a half, but they could have cut 15 minutes more than that.
Yeah. Oh, easily.
So many unnecessary bits.
And then they cut to Meghan and Gordon just walking into the sunset.
Yep. She's like, "Oh, I want to show you my place." And he's like, "Whoa, we should take a cab." And she's like, "I never want to see another cab again." Like, what? Oh yeah, because that was probably traumatic.
Well, she got a gun pulled on her from a cab. I guess that. I get that.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh well, I guess we'll walk. It'll be more of an adventure." And then it's like music cue, sunset. She's not under arrest for all the crimes. Baffling. And apparently she wins. Credits. That was so fast. This movie sucks. What a waste. What a waste of an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think it earns its 14%.
Yeah.
If there's
that. There's like it's not lower.
Yeah, I mean, there's like glimmers of some hope here and there, like Bill Burr and Ethan Suplee, like they're kind of fun pair, and then
and like the cultural insensitivities and bits like that. Like you think about it this way, that 14% or whatever is from 2014. Like that was when it came out and the critics were reviewing it.
Yeah,
they weren't probably even factoring that in at the time much. Like maybe a little bit, but like not like like. Now it's like even worse. Yeah. Some of the reviews I read, everyone kept were hanging on to it's misogynistic and has basically saying like besides that, and let's not even talk about all the glaring other issues that that's wrong with this movie. It's just also just not funny. Yes. It's like that's a fair assessment. So couldn't agree more.
Yeah, what a nightmare. So I don't know. Is there anything else? Is that it?
I mean, no. Listeners, if you take nothing else from this, just like be kind yourself to your neighbors. Be yourself,
but be kind.
Just be a good neighbor.
If being yourself is being an asshole, then don't be yourself.
That's right.
Be someone better, right?
Be better.
Otherwise, don't be sorry. Be better.
I like when we have a lesson at the end. It makes you feel like the Peanuts.
That's it. That's our episode. That's our breakdown of Walk of Shame. Thanks for listening, everyone. And if you made it this far, which we hope you did, because you'll have learned a lesson of life. But thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a new movie. In the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter, and you can subscribe, follow us wherever you listen.
Yes, please. And while you're doing that, if you could also please leave us a review, that would be super helpful. 5 stars, maybe a comment, say something nice, say something mean. Give us a lesson. Give us a life lesson.
Right.
We're always open to learn. We're not, we're only human. We're trying to be better than our past selves.
We're all kind of living together in this giant spinning rock,
Yeah. Every day, just do a little better. And while you're doing a little better, you can go to our website or send us an email. I'll do the email first because it usually comes first.
Yeah.
It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Send us, again, whatever you want. Tips, criticisms, compliments. Send us a really nice long email like Laurel did, where you just compliment us the whole time. We love those.
That's great. That's a great way to start the day.
Or you can go to the website if you don't want to do that and check out all the old episodes. Check out the host bio for me and Russ. You want to know a little more about your host? You can see pictures of us. We exist.
Photos.
As humans.
Yeah. We are real.
Put a face to our silky, smooth
voices.
That's right. It's thismeetsthat.com.